Have you ever wondered what our world would be like without globalization? It's a question that might seem overwhelming at first. To understand it, we first need to grasp what globalization is. Picture it as a complex web of connections, linking people, businesses, and governments across geographical boundaries. It's the free movement of goods, services, and ideas, all facilitated by technological advancements. Globalization is not a phenomenon that just sprang up yesterday. It's been gradually evolving for centuries, and now it's so deeply ingrained in our day-to-day lives that we hardly notice it. From the coffee you sip in the morning sourced from beans grown thousands of miles away, to the technology you use to watch this video, the fingerprints of globalization are everywhere. In this video, we'll take a journey through two parallel worlds. One, where globalization thrives, and another where it never took root. We'll compare, contrast, and explore the implications of each. Now let's dive into the world we know, the world with globalization. Inhabitants of the globalized world, we're all interconnected. Imagine a world where no corner is unreachable, where ideas, goods, and even culture are not bound by geographical barriers. That's the world we live in today, a globalized world. One of the remarkable benefits of globalization is the increase in international trade. It's like a giant worldwide marketplace where countries can buy and sell goods and services. This exchange not only boosts economies but also allows access to a greater variety of products. Picture yourself savoring a cup of Colombian coffee in the morning, putting on a Swiss watch, or driving a Japanese car. It's all possible because of globalization. The cultural exchange is another aspect that we cannot overlook. Globalization has made it easier for us to experience different cultures. Whether it's watching a Bollywood movie in the United States, listening to K-pop in France, or enjoying Italian pasta in China, we're all sharing and learning about each other's cultures. Let's not forget about the rapid spread of information and technology. The internet, smartphones, social media, all these technologies have made it possible for us to connect with people halfway across the globe in real time. It's like having the world at our fingertips. We can now share ideas, learn, innovate, and even work together, regardless of where we are. Moreover, globalization encourages global cooperation. It brings nations together to tackle common challenges, whether it's climate change, global health issues, or even space exploration. We're no longer isolated islands, but parts of a global community working together for a better future. Yet it's not all sunshine and rainbows. However, like every coin has two sides, globalization also has its drawbacks. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's appreciate the conveniences and opportunities that the globalized world has brought to our doorstep. The globalized world isn't all rainbows and sunshine. Yes, globalization has indeed created a connected world, but it also brought with it a few significant drawbacks. Firstly, income inequality. While globalization has created immense wealth, it has not been distributed evenly. The rich have gotten richer, while the poor struggle to climb the economic ladder. This disparity poses a serious threat to social stability and economic sustainability. Secondly, cultural homogenization. As cultures merge and blend, we risk losing the diversity that makes our world so vibrant and unique. The spread of a dominant culture can lead to the erosion of local traditions, languages, and identities. Lastly, the spread of diseases. Globalization allows diseases to travel faster and farther than ever before. As we've seen in recent years, a health crisis in one part of the world can quickly become a global pandemic. Now, imagine a world without globalization. What would that look like? A world without globalization might sound like a step back, but let's consider it. In a non-globalized world, we would witness a stronger emphasis on localized economies. Communities would have to rely heavily on their own resources for survival and growth. This could potentially lead to a more sustainable model of living, where resources are used with care and waste is minimized. Since goods wouldn't be shipped across the globe, carbon emissions would be reduced significantly, contributing positively to the fight against climate change. Next, let's consider the cultural impact. Without the blending and homogenization that come with globalization, distinct cultures would likely remain more intact. Each region would have its own unique customs, traditions, and languages, which would be less influenced by external factors. This could result in a vibrant and diverse world, rich in cultural heritage. People would have a stronger sense of identity and belonging deeply rooted in their local cultures. However, it's not all rosy. Without globalization, the spread of diseases could be more controlled. In the era of pandemics, this seems like a significant advantage. With less international travel and trade, the chances of diseases crossing borders would be significantly reduced. it might be easier to isolate and manage health crises locally without the fear of them becoming global catastrophes. Despite these potential benefits, it's essential to remember that this scenario is largely hypothetical. A non-globalized world would also have its challenges. The exchange of ideas, innovations, and knowledge would be more limited. Some regions might suffer from resource scarcity, while others might experience economic stagnation due to a lack of competition. The world would be a patchwork of isolated communities, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. However, the absence of globalization would also have its share of drawbacks. So we've explored both worlds, with and without globalization. We've seen how a globalized world can lead to economic growth, cultural exchange, and the spreading of ideas. But we also acknowledge that it comes with its own set of challenges. Economic disparities, cultural dilution, and environmental degradation are just a few of the issues we face in our interconnected world. On the other hand, a non-globalized world, while preserving cultural diversity and local economies, could potentially lead to stagnation and limit the opportunities for growth and development. Isolation might protect us from some global challenges, but it also cuts us off from the benefits of shared knowledge and resources. In this complex landscape, it's not about choosing one over the other, but rather understanding the dynamics of both and making informed decisions. In the end, it's all about finding the right balance. Globalization isn't an all-or-nothing proposition. It's a complex, nuanced process that requires thoughtful consideration.